Hello, everyone. This is the second time I'm attempting this. I'll probably have to do it in two parts because it was too long and it looked like it worked, but then apparently either YouTube or Moodle kicked me off. So here we go. The agenda for this week is I want to introduce the student profiles. We've talked about this twice in class, but I just want to go through it one more time. I also want to introduce the scenario analysis too, and probably not much about the AT presentations because we just did that last night. And then I'm going to talk to you about cognitive development and what to look for in Chapter 6. So, profile of the student. Let me get into this here. If you look into the profile of a student rubric, remember that you're going to be doing this in two parts. You're going to answer 5 questions for each submission. And those 5 questions will be out of at least 3 of the 9 categories. You could do 5 if you wanted to. Everybody has to do temperament, but we're going to do that. You won't do that for profile 1. You'll do that for profile 2, as we discussed yesterday. Okay. The things that I want to make sure you understand is that, and by the way, under temperament, we will go over this in class, but I also have a nice little thing talking about Thomas and chess, which I'll introduce to you when we're face to face. So you have each of these categories, but within the categories, you could either come up with a new category if you wanted to. Just let me know that you've done that. And then, or you can come up with you can say, okay, I'm interested in doing language development, but I don't like any of these questions. So I'm going to come up with another one. Feel free. Okay, by now you should know that I really value diversity, I value creativity, and so on. Okay, so I think we've gone over this enough at this point. But if you have questions, please don't hesitate to email me, because these are due before the first one is due before we see each other again, and that's only because we have the Memorial Day weekend in there. Okay, where is my, let's see. All right, let's go back in here. Okay. Scenario analysis. This is going to be similar to the one you did before, but this says individually. That's because in the 14-week section we do the first one in a group. We didn't have really time to do that, and I wanted to see your individual work right away. But the whole thing is that you're going to do it in more depth. So you have to make sure you've got good examples. You've got good, you're really specific about things. You don't just say, oh, I'm going to make UDL changes, but you explicitly say what those are. Okay. I give you some examples to consider here. Go to cast.org. And you can also do differentiation, but not instead of UDL. And make it clear, if you're doing that these are accommodations I am doing for this one student in addition to the UDL changes that I'm doing for everyone. Okay. This is also, if you could do this right here, this is really cool and I think important, although if you don't do it, you're not going to get points taken off. But instead of just tolerating diversity and different kinds of kids, what if we saw them as an asset to the classroom? What if we celebrated them? Something to think about. Are you going to is there something you need from administration? So these are things to consider. Maybe environmental changes would be good for everybody. Okay? Now, a couple things to understand about this. One is that you have to use a new lesson for this second one. Okay? And if I commented and said that yours was too general, then you got to make a better one for the second one. It's got to be a different kind of kid, although I guess it could be a similar kid if it's a different lesson plan. But I'd like you to have more practice. Okay, I'm not going to do the assistive technology introduction because we did that the other day. And I'm going to stop here because I think it would be good to do this on a separate video.